Okay, so in this video I'm just gonna basically focus on these four problems that require partial fractions. Now if you've already checked out my video on how I used to solve this partial fractions, some of you are familiar with the methods used in the textbook. For example, if you have suppose maybe it's just cx plus d over x minus a1 into x minus a2 into x minus a3, progressing like that you can rewrite this as the integral of a over x minus a1 plus the integral of a2 over x minus a2 plus the integral of a3 over x minus a3. So this is up until 8n, because this is just progressing like that, but that's perfectly fine. So in this one I'm just going to use that to show you how that method really works really. And then I'm going to start with number 1, and I'm going to leave number 4 to you guys and see if you can be able to evaluate it. So what do we do when we apply partial fractions? The first thing that you need to be able to realize is that partial fraction is between polynomials. You cannot apply that if you have some trig over trig. Let's say if you make a substitution and you have two polynomials where you can factor the denominator, and the degree of the denominator is greater than the degree of the numerator. Like in this case, if you check my video of long division method, you realize that if the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, I'll use long division method. But now, since the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, then it's basically partial fractions. Only if you can factorize this one. So let's try to factorize this one. Okay, so how do we factor x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6? Okay, let's look at it. X cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. So the first thing we will do is we'll look for the factors of a constant. The factors of 6 is 6 and 1, 2 and 3. It's also a factor of 6. So now if we plug in 1 here, what do we get? If we plug in 1, we get 1 minus 6, which is minus 5, plus 11, which is minus 5 plus 11 is 6. Minus 6 is 0. So if you get a 0 factor here, if you substitute 1, that means that this whole thing is 0, meaning that x equals 1 is the solution of this. And now if we take 1 to that other side, then it will be negative. Then we have x minus 1 equals 0. So that basically means that x minus 1 is a factor of this whole expression here. Now, you can use long division to divide this by x minus 1. Let me just use it. I'm dividing x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 by x minus 1. X cubed divided by x is x squared. X squared by x is x cubed. And then x squared by minus 1 is minus x squared. And now this minus this is 0. This minus this will be minus 5x squared. Then I just basically take this whole term below, plus 11x minus 6. And now minus 5x squared divided by x, that's going to be minus 5x. And now minus 5x by x is going to be minus 5x squared. And minus 5x by minus 1 is going to be positive 5x. Now, that means that I'm just going to take this, subtract this. This minus this will be 0. And this minus this will be 6x minus 6. Because minus 6, I'm just going to take it below. Then 6x divided by x is going to be 6. And then 6 by x is going to be 6x, and 6 by minus 1 is going to be minus 6. So that ensures that x minus 1 is a factor of that. And then you remain with x squared minus 5x plus 6 in the other bracket. You remain with this one in the other bracket. And then this one, can we further factorize this one? Can we factorize this one? X squared minus 5x plus 6. The factors of 6 are still the same, 1, 2, 3, and 6. If we plug in 1, we get 1 minus 5, which is minus 4 plus 6. Then 1 is not a factor. If we plug in 2, we have 2 squared, which is 4, minus 5 by 2, which is minus 10, and then you have 4 minus 10, which is minus 6, plus 6, then you get 0. That means that x minus 2 is a factor of that. And if you divide this whole polynomial by x minus 2, so we are dividing x squared minus 5x plus 6 by x minus 2. Then x squared divided by x is going to be x, and x by x is x squared, and x by minus 2 is minus 2x, and then you basically have minus 5x minus into this one, it's going to be minus 3x, then you take the 6 below. Then minus 3x divided by x is going to be minus 3, and then minus 3 by x is going to be minus 3x, and minus 3 by 2 is going to be positive 6, and then you have 0. So that means that the other remaining term is just going to be x plus 3, x minus 3. So now we factor the denominator. So we can go there and say that we have 6x squared minus 22x plus 18 divide by, let me just separate this so you don't get confused. Divide by, now I factored this to be x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. So I have x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. X minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. So that's how I factored the denominator completely. So that's how you can factor. Of course, you have different methods of factorizing, but at the end of the day, you should be able to get to these factors. Notice that I'm using long division because some people have a problem with factorizing, and long division is like the quickest way to factorize even if you don't know how to factor. But if you know how to factor, there's no need to do long division. You can just factorize. You can just look at this and then factorize. But for the sake of everyone understanding, I'm going to use long division to factorize that. So I'm going to break this into parts. Remember what I showed you earlier? I showed you something like this. If you have linear factors that are not the same, then you can basically rewrite this as a over x minus 1 plus, you let this being the same as the integral, equal sign here, plus b over x minus 2 plus c over x minus 3 dx. Now, what we must do is find the values of a, b, and c. How do we do that? How do we find the values of a, b, and c? So, you say a, then you multiply by these other two factors. Only in this case, there are some cases where you have to be careful, but in this case, let's say a multiplied by x minus 2 into x minus 3. So I'll have a into x minus 2 into x minus 3. Then I'll have plus. For b, you multiply with this other two denominators. Then you'll have b into x minus 1 into x minus 3. Then for c, you'll have c, then you multiply by this other two factors. You just basically exclude that one of c. Then you have c multiplied by x minus 1, x minus 2. Then from then you just further expand. And this will be the same as this will be the same as 6x squared minus 22x plus 18. So after you multiply this with these denominators and this other denominators and this one with this other denominators, and you sum up all over that, this will be the same as the numerator. You just equate that to the numerator. And now it's just a matter of expanding from there. Then you have a into x squared minus 5x plus 6 plus b into x squared minus 4x plus 3. And then you also have c into x squared minus 3x plus 3. No, plus 2, I mean. It's going to be minus 1 by minus 2, which is just positive 2 there. Then this will be the same as 6x squared minus 22x plus 18. Then from then you just group the factors. For x squared, you realize that x squared will go with a, then you'll have a. And here you'll realize that b will go with x squared, then you have b. And you'll realize that also c will go with x squared, then you have c. And for the x factors, you realize that here x will go with minus 5a. And here you realize that x will go with minus 4b. And then here you realize that x will go with minus 3c. And then that means you are left with the constants. And the constants in this case, you'll have a by 6, which is just going to be 6a. And then here you'll have 3b. And for the last one, you'll have 2c. Then this will be the same as 6x squared minus 22x. This is supposed to be 22x plus 18. Then from then we just want to solve for a, b, and c. Now notice that here we have an x squared term. On this side, the x squared term goes with 6. So that means that a plus b plus c is equals to 6. And then here we have an x term that goes with this one, and here we realize that the x term goes with minus 22. So that means that minus 5a plus, minus 5a minus will be minus 3c. This will go with minus 22. And then here we realize that we have a constant, and the constant on the right side is going to be 80. And on the left side, that will be equivalent to 6a plus 3b plus 2c. So we have 6a plus 3b plus 2c. That will be equals to 18. And then what you do from there, you can basically work out on eliminations. You can solve for a here. That means that a will be equals to 6 minus b minus c. If you solve for a on this one, a will be equals to 6 minus b minus c. Then you plug a in the second equation and the third equation there. And then when you plug that, you have minus 5 into a, it's 6 minus b minus c. And then you have minus 4b minus 3c being equals to minus 22. And then on the third equation, you also plug a there. Then you have 6 into 6 minus b minus c plus 3b plus 2c equals 18. And then from there, you can further simplify. So you have a equals 6 minus b minus c, and here you'll have minus 5 by 6, which is just going to be minus 30. And minus 5 by minus b is going to be positive 5b. And you have minus 5 by minus c, which is just going to be 5c. And then you have minus 4b minus 3c, which gives you minus 22. And then 6 by 6 is 36. Minus 6b minus 6c plus 3b plus 2c equals 18. And then let's simplify further. A equals 6 minus b minus c. And now here we have 5b minus 4b. What's 5b minus 4b? That's b. And we have 5c minus 3c. What's 5c minus 3c is going to be 2c. And we can take the constant that other side. And if you take that constant that other side, we have what? It's going to be positive 30. Then we have 30 minus 22, which will give you 8. And now here you have minus 6b plus 3b, which will give you minus 3b. And minus 6c plus 2c, that will give us minus 4c. And you take the constant that other side, you have 18 minus 36, which will be the same as minus 16. Now, a equals 6 minus b minus c, and b plus 2c equals 8. We can further say that from this one we get that b equals 8 minus 2c. Then we can plug this into the third equation there. Then we'll get what? We'll get that 3 into 8 minus 2c. This will be this minus 4c. This will be the same as minus 16. If you plug this equation into the third one, then what can we be able to solve? See, 3 by 8, that's going to be 24, and 3 by minus 2c is going to be minus 6c, and then minus 4c equals minus 16. Then from then, you have minus 6c. This will basically be minus 10c. And you take the constant that other side. You have minus 16 minus 24. What's minus 16 minus 24? It's going to be minus 30. Minus 30. Then c equals minus 30 divided by minus 10, which you're going to get 3. Now b plus 2c. b equals 8 minus 2c. Now b equals 8 minus 2c. And c is 3. So b will be equals to 8 minus 6, which we're going to get 2. And then a, from the first equation, we get that 6 minus b minus c. So it's going to be 6 minus b, which is 2, minus c, which is 3. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. And 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay. So this means that the integral of 6x squared minus 22x plus 18 divided by x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 can be re-expressed as the integral of, remember this, then you just plug a is the same as 1, we got 1, into x minus 1, right, okay, x minus 1, and then we got b that, let me just zoom out a little, yeah, we got that b equals 2, so we'll say 2 over x minus 2. And we got that c equals 3. Then we'll get 3 over x minus 3 dx. Now I'm not going to integrate further here. So this is just like the whole point of that. So you can easily work out on these integrals. So let's go to the next question. The follow-up question, we have 4x minus 11 over 4x squared minus 11x plus 3. Minus 3, I mean. So we have the next integral being 8x minus 11 divided by 4x squared minus 11x minus 3 dx. So from here, let's see if we can factorize the denominator. So we have 4x squared minus 11x minus 3. So the factors of 3 is just 1 and 3. There's no other factors. Now if you plug in 1 here, we have 4 minus 11. 4 minus 11, it's minus 7. Minus 7 minus 3, then it doesn't give us what we want. And then also the same for minus 1. We won't get 0. But if we plug 3, we have 4 by 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 by 9 is going to be 36. And now 11 by 3 is going to be 33, right? Okay, let me just write it down. 4 by 3 squares is going to be 36. And minus 11 by 3 is going to be minus 33. And you also have this minus 3. So 36 minus 33 minus 3 is going to be 0. So if x equals 3, this whole thing is equals to 0. But if you take 3 that other side, then you will get that x minus 3 is effect of that. And then you just are going to use long division to divide, right? Let me do this here. 4x squared minus 11x minus 3. You divide that by x minus 3. Okay. Now 4x squared divided by x is going to be 4x. And now 4x by x is going to be 4x squared. And 4x by minus 3 is going to be minus 12x. And then you just subtract 4x squared minus 4x squared. This is minus 12x. Right? And then 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. Minus 11x minus 12x. Minus 11x minus into negative 12x. That's just going to be positive x. And you take the negative 3 below, then you have x minus 3. X divided by x is 1. Right? And then 1 by x is x. 1 by minus 3 is minus 3. And if you subtract that, you get 0. So that means on the other fraction, on the other brackets, you'll have a term for x plus 1. So that's how you factorize this one. This will be the same as 8x minus 11 over x minus 3 into 4x plus 1 dx. Then, when you split this, you'll basically have a over x minus 3 plus b over 4x plus 1 dx. Then from then, you just have to solve for a and b. So what I said is that you multiply this by the other denominator. So you'll have you'll have a into 4x plus 1 plus b multiplied by the other denominator here. So you'll have b into x minus 3. And then you'll have 4ax plus a plus bx minus 3b. And this will be the same as 8x minus 11. 8x minus 11. Now you group by the x, you factor by x, then you'll have 4a. Which other term contains x is b. 4a plus b plus a constant is just going to be a minus 3b. This will be the same as 8x minus 11. Now, what this implies is that 4a plus b, which they are grouped by x, and in the other side you have 8. 4a plus b is 8, and a minus 3b is just constant, and the constant on the right is minus 11, equals minus 11. Now, the easy thing to do is solve for a in the lower equation, on the second equation. So you have 4a plus b, or you can solve for b in the first equation, right? Then you have 4a plus b being the same as 8, and a being the same as 3b. If you take this one, that other side is going to be positive. Then you have 11. Then a equals 3b minus 11. You just plug it there. You just plug this one there in terms of a. So you'll have 4 by a. 4 by 3, it's 12, right? So you'll have 12b minus 4 by 11 is going to be 44. Then you add b, and you're going to get 8. So what this means is that minus 12b plus b, which you're going to get 13b. You take minus 44, that other side, you're going to have 52. So what's 52 divided by 13? We can just work on that. Let me work it on this side. 52, we divide it by 13. Okay. How many 13s are there in 52? But if you work on that, you'll have 13, 26, 39, and then you'll have 52 after, right? So how many 13s are there? It's going to be 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means that b is the same as 4. And if b is 4, a equals what? 3 into 4 minus 11, which you're going to get 12 minus 11, then a equals 1. So that means that this will be the same as the integral of 1 over x minus 3 plus b, we got 4, over 4x plus 1 dx. Then from then you can be able to like integrate that one. I'm not going to go further. I'm just like basically showing you how you reduce this, how you reduce that. Now number 3, we have x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1. Okay, let me just go to the next page. 3x squared minus 3x squared plus x minus 2. 3x squared plus x minus 2 divided by x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 1. Minus x squared plus x, is it? Minus 1. Bx. Now, can you pause the video and see if you can like be able to like work this one out? Okay. So the first step is just to like factor the denominator, x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1. The factors of 1 is just 1 and 1. So you can just plug in 1. 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So yeah, that means that x equals 1 gives a 0 case in this one. So that means that x minus 1 is a factor of this. So that means you can factor by x minus 1. And now we need another term in the other bracket. So you can use long division to do that. Quickly use long division to do that. So if you use long division, you're going to have x cubed divided by x is x squared. Then we already have minus x squared, so there's no need to subtract. Minus 1 divided by minus 1 is going to be positive 1. So we'll have something like this. If you use long division, you'll end up with something like this, right? In the other bracket, you'll end up with x squared plus 1. Okay. You agree with me, right? Okay. So now, that means that we're going to have 3x squared plus x minus 2 divided by x minus 1 into x squared plus 1 dx. So this means that now we'll have a over x minus 1 plus bx plus c over x squared plus 1 dx. Now the reason I'm doing this is a quadratic term, and it's distinct from the other factors, completely distinct. And then so we'll have a linear case on top of that, right? Bx plus c. Or if you don't want to understand it this way, you can analyze that if you multiply this by this, you'll just have x squared only, right? But if you say b here, you'll have an extra term. So we need to correct for that with this constant here. We need to correct for that with this constant here. So now it's just a matter of like solving for a, b, and c. So a into x squared plus 1 plus bx plus c into x minus 1. This will be the same as 3x squared plus x minus 2, but let me just first expand that. So you'll have ax squared plus a plus bx squared minus b plus cx minus c. Then you group by x squared, then you have x squared into a plus b, right? And then you group by x, it's only one term that contains an x, which is just cx. And then you group by the constant, you'll have a minus b minus c. This is constant, and this is a factor of just x here, and then here is for the x squared factor. Now this means that here we have 3 going with x squared. That means that a plus b equals 3. So c is just the same as 1. And a minus b minus c is equals to, the constant is minus 2. But we already know the value of c, so there's no need. We can just get rid of this one and plug in c. So we have a plus b equals 3. And if we plug in c here, we'll have a minus b minus 1 equals minus 2. This means that b equals 3 minus a. And from here we get that a is equals to minus 1 going that side is going to be positive. So you have minus 1. And if minus b goes that side, it's going to be positive. And then minus 2 minus 1, minus into negative 1 is going to be minus 1. So we have this one. Then you can just solve for a and b. You can solve it anyhow you want. So I'm just going to plug b there, right? So if I plug b there, I'll have that, okay, so there's no need for this anymore. So I'll have that a equals 3 minus a minus 1. So if I take a that side, then I'll have 2a, right? And 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. Then a equals 1. Then if a equals 1, then b equals 2. Okay, so we have the values now. A equals 1, so we can express this as x minus 1. And b is the same as 2. Then I have 2x and c, the value of c is 1 there. Then you have 2x plus 1 divided by x squared plus 1 dx. Then you have something like this now. So I'm going to complete this one because there's something you need to be familiarize yourself with. Now, here, you're going to split this integral into parts. You're going to split it into 2x over x squared plus 1. You're going to split into, and you're going to split the fraction into x squared into just 2x plus 1, but you separate the denominators because it's just the same denominator. If you add the 2, you'll end up here. So if you work out this integral, you have ln the absolute value of x minus 1. And if you work this integral out, you'll have ln x squared plus 1. And if you work this integral, you're going to have arctan x plus a constant c. So that will be the solution of that integral. Notice here I didn't put absolute values because x squared plus 1 is always positive. But you can, like, you see the 2 lns here, right? You can further simplify this if you want to. So now I worked out on these integrals. The last one is for you guys, right? And if you're struggling with this one, then you can like get it down in the comments, or you can like text me on that. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And until next time, good luck on Wednesday.